All right, in this video, we're going to be going over the Module 4 study guide. This isn't going to be the PowerPoints like it normally is, but hopefully this will help prepare you for the test. All right, so here we have our graphed line. All right. And we need to identify which one of these 4 equations is going to match that line. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at our slope. So what is the slope of this line? Well, if I choose this point, which is the point 0, 5, and if I choose the point, this point, which is -4, -3, can I determine what the slope is? So I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I went down 2, so -2. So remember, we're going to put our rise, so -2 over 4, which -2 over 4 simplifies to -1/2. So just by identifying our slope, we can eliminate C and D because they don't have the correct slope. So now we're going to look at our ordered pairs. Now, our ordered pairs, remember, this is our y1 and this is our x1, but because our x's and y's lie to us, we're going to reverse the signs or pull out the opposite signs. So even though this says -4, my x1, or the point that should fall on the line, is going to be 4. And my y1, even though it says 7, because it's also lying to us now both x's and y's lie, it's going to be -7. So this point, this xy point, if done correctly, should fall on the line. So I'm going to go over here to 4 and down to -7. And this is the point 4, -7. Does that point fall on the line? Yes. So that means B is our correct answer. Now, if you just want to double check to make sure, just know that this x and y pair would actually be 4 and +7. So that would be 4 and then all the way up here to +7. Well, this point 4, 7 does not fall on the graphed line, so it is not our correct equation. Okay, so let's erase that. And let's go on to problem number 2. Try to get 2 and 3 both on the same side. So the slope of a line on a coordinate plane is 4. Okay, so the slope is 4. So M is equal to 4. The line passes through the point 5, 2. So this is my x, this is my y. So I'm going to plug that into my point slope form. So y minus 2, because remember our y's are lying to us, so it's going to be a -2, is equal to our slope, which is 4. And that's going to be multiplied times x minus 5, again, because that is lying to us. Remember, our x and y's are both lying. So when I put that into my point slope form, now I'm going to try to simplify it and rearrange it so that it's in standard form. Because look at all these answer choices. Those are all in standard form. So I'm going to distribute, and I get 4x minus 20. So y minus 2 is equal to 4x minus 20. I'm going to add 2 so that my constants are on the same side. So now I have y is equal to 4x minus 18. Now I'm going to subtract the 4x because I want the 4x on the other side because I need it in standard form. So -4x plus y is equal to negative 18. So now that last step is to make this a term right here a positive whole number. So I'm going to multiply everything by negative 1. And when I do that, I get 4x minus y is equal to 18, which here is option B. Now be careful when you do this in Canvas. Remember that your things do move around because they are shuffled just like they are on the test. Okay, so moving on to question 3. The city parking garage charges $4. Okay, $4 to park for 2 hours. So that's the initial cost, so that's going to be my B value. After that, there's an additional charge of $2.50 per hour. So this $2.50 is going to be my slope. So now I can write an equation in slope-intercept form. So y is equal to 2.5x plus 4. Now that I have my equation in slope-intercept form, now again, I do need to rearrange it to standard form because something x plus something y equal to something means that it's in standard form. So I'm going to subtract the 2.5x. Once I do that, I get negative 2.5x plus y is equal to 4. Now, again, I have to worry about this a term. And because that's a negative and it has a decimal, I have to multiply the entire equation by negative 2. Now, negative 2 times negative 2.5 is going to be 5x. Negative 2 times a positive y is negative 2y. And negative 2 times 4 is going to be equal to a negative 8. Now that my a term is positive, I can identify and fill in the blanks. So it's 5x minus 2y is equal to negative 8. And you'll notice in Canvas, this is a drop-down menu question, and it will be like that on the test as well. Okay, let's go ahead and erase this and move on to our next questions. Which should be question 4. All right, question number 4. Which of the following are not parallel and not perpendicular to the graph line? Okay, so first of all, I need to determine the slope of the given line. So this is my given line, and I need to determine the slope. Now there's some clues here because look at all of your equations. They have negative 3/4, negative 4/3, 3/4, negative 3/4. So our slope should have something to do with 3s and 4s. So if you're wondering how to figure out your slope, that's kind of the first place I would look. Okay, so looking at this line, I'm going to choose this point, which is 0, negative 8. And I'm going to choose this point, which is 3, negative 4. So how did I go from 0, negative 8 to 3, 4? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I went up 4, 1, 2, 3, plus 3. So my slope of my given line is 4 over 3. If that's my given line, then if I want a slope of a line that is parallel, remember that's the same slope So the m would also have to equal 4/3. So any one of these lines that has a slope of 4/3, I can eliminate because I'm looking for the one that is not parallel. So this one is parallel. So I'm going to cross it out because it's parallel to the given line. Now, what about perpendicular? Perpendicular slope would have to be the opposite. So it was positive, so now it has to be negative, and the reciprocal, so 3/4. So the slope of my perpendicular line would be negative 3/4, which is right here and right here. So I can cross those two equations out as well, because again, we're looking for the ones that are not parallel and not perpendicular. So that means that my correct choices or my correct answers are this one, negative 4/3 x plus 5, and 3/4. So those are the correct answers. You should have 2 correct answers in your study guide and 2 correct answers, hopefully, on your exam tomorrow. Okay? All right, moving on to question number 5. The coordinate plane shows the point 10, 7. So the point 10, 7 is given to you right here. And the line y is equal to negative 5x plus 3. So they gave you the equation of this line. Okay, what is the slope m of a line that goes through the point 10, 7 and is perpendicular? So we're looking for the slope that is perpendicular. Write the equation, and I think this is y minus b equals m times x minus a. And it asks you to only identify the value of m. So let me tell you, really all we need to do is find the slope of the perpendicular line. So the slope of the given line, right? The slope of the given line is negative 5/2. If you don't believe the equation, then let's look over here and see if we can determine the slope on our own. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's negative 5. 1, 2, positive 2. That means the slope is equal to negative 5/2. So what would the perpendicular slope be? Well, it's going to be the opposite. So if it was negative, it's now going to be a positive number. And it's going to be the reciprocal. So the meaning I have to flip the fraction 2/5. So what is the value of m? 2/5. There's no need to identify your A and your B. We don't care about those. All you have to do is identify the M. Okay. I'm going to try to get to question 6 before my time runs out. Okay, line P is represented by the equation 3x plus 2y equals 12 in standard form. So if we have to write an equation of a line that is parallel, the first thing we have to do is rearrange this into y equals mx plus b form so that we can identify the m. So what we're going to do is we are going to subtract 3x from both sides, and we get 2y is equal to negative 3x plus 12. And then we have to get rid of this 2, so we're going to divide by 2. And once we have it in slope-intercept form, so y is equal to negative 3/2x plus 6. So now I can determine the slope of my parallel line to this is going to be negative 3/2. Now to determine the slope of my perpendicular line, Remember, the slope of your perpendicular line is going to be its opposite reciprocal, so it's going to be a positive 2/3. Then what I have to do is identify the b value by plugging it into point slope form, which I don't have time in this video.